Hey guys, welcome to Malaysia. I figured we sit down here and we would answer the 10 top questions that I've gotten the last 3 weeks. So, number one, if you only had one country to visit Southeast Asia, where would it be and why? So if there's only one country to visit and I already have an income that I already have coming in like month to month, I don't have to go to a country and work, I would pick 100% Thailand. Thailand has to be the best country in Southeast Asia. It's the most modern. It's visually one of the cleanest. They do have their issues, but I think compared to like Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, and stuff like that, it's much cleaner. It's a much cheaper country than even Vietnam. If you get out of the big city, you get out of Chiang Mai, Bangkok, and you get to like Rayon, you get down to Krabi, you can get rent for like $250, $300 a month for a 2 or 3 bedroom house. Easy. And if you have $30,000, $40,000, that'll get you a 20-year visa in Thailand through the government, call it elite visa, that you don't have to renew. They renew it every 5 years for you. It's part of the program. And I think the cheapest is like $6,000 or $7,000, gets you 5 years. So you're paying like $1,200 a year, which is, it seems costly, but you're set. And again, this is if you have money. Now, if I was to go to a country because I needed money, I had to work, Vietnam 100%, because it pays the most to teach English. They hire everybody, they rarely fire. If you don't have a degree though, Cambodia 100%. They don't require a 4-year bachelor's degree, you just need a TEFL to actually teach English in Cambodia. So that would be the best spot there. So if I had money, Thailand. If I didn't have money, Vietnam. That's my answer. Number two, what documents do you need to travel long term? If you are traveling with the expectation if you're gonna have to stop sometimes and make money, I strongly suggest having your degree, a 120-hour TEFL. A TEFL is like an insurance card traveling around the world, especially South America and Southeast Asia. Like, you could just be like in Thailand or Cambodia or Vietnam or Malaysia, just be like, yo, I'm broke, I need some quick cash, and find a teaching job. It really is that easy. So you have that. So have a degree, have your TEFL, have copies of your documents, your passport. Definitely have a driver's license and an international driver's license. The international one, get long as possible. If mine, they offered 20 years, so I bought it. The reason for this is your country's driver's license will probably expire before then. My American one expires every 10 years. But the idea is I've already got a Thailand driver's license. So if I get pulled over like in Malaysia, I can show my international driver's license, but also show them my Thai driver's license as the backup for it. And they accept it. Number three, what are the best ways to find best pricing for hotels and traveling abroad, like flights and stuff like that? My advice with flights and traveling, have the apps Momondo, have Booking.com, and have Airbnb. I switch between Airbnb and Booking.com for where I stay. And in regards to travel, I always check Momondo. It's the best way to go. It includes Skyscanner, Kayak, Priceline, and then the airlines themselves. You always get the cheapest prices with this app. I have found no app that competes with it. Have Lazada for shopping and have Grab for taxis and stuff like that. Those are the other two that you should have. The cool thing about Lazada is if you need something real fast, you can order it and just have it shipped to your hotel. Number four, do I need to plan an itinerary when I travel? When you're planning an itinerary, I think it's important to be vague with it. Don't put point for point. I've seen so many people like timestamp their itineraries to the point where they're like stressing out on their vacation because they're missing flights or their train's 10 minutes late, or they enjoyed something, they wish they could have stayed longer, or one place that they went, they realized it really sucked and they would have rather just left and spent more time somewhere else. So when I travel alone, I typically don't really plan an itinerary. Like this itinerary right now, as I'm traveling, is I put Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Philippines, possibly Thailand, and then back to Vietnam. I'm just going to these countries and I'm kind of vibing out where I'm gonna go. I didn't research all these big cities to go to, whatnot. I just had an idea, like last time I went towards the coast, this time I'm gonna go along the Chinese Sea. And that's all I did. If you're traveling with somebody or if you're going with family, you definitely wanna have some type of itinerary. I wouldn't, again, make it too detailed, but the reason for it is if you're booking hotels when you have kids or pets, stuff like that, you're gonna have to have the higher end accommodations at times, and those are typically not as easy to get last minute at good rates. And if you could buy all your plane tickets in advance, or at least, like 2 weeks in advance, you'll save some good money that way. So if you're traveling solo, not so much. If you're traveling with people, I would have something. If you're traveling with family, with kids involved, I would definitely have something laid out. Number five, are we on five? How do I adapt to culture, the people and etiquette of new countries I visit? This one is really hard. Like if you're in Southeast Asia, just be ready for chaos and communist ideas. Like you could bribe your way out of everything. Everything's kind of a negotiation. If you go to a store, you're not typically paying the ticket price. You can always talk it down. They might talk it up. When you get pulled over by police, it'll turn into bribes. Now, if you go south places like Malaysia, where it's more Islam based, it's very religious based. Thailand is too, but not to the point where it affects a tourist. Places like here, like Malaysia, like the Muslim culture, the Islam culture rather, will affect your trip to an extent, and not in a negative way. It's just like the food is going to be way different. The times when things close, the alcohol regulations, dating. If you're coming out here as a single guy, you're not going to go about picking up chicks as easy as you would in like Vietnam or Thailand per se, because there's regulations to it in regards to the rules of the religion. I would suggest just understanding a little of the country. If you're going to go to somewhere like Malaysia, get a base idea of like things you should know about Islam when you're visiting an Islam country. If you're going to like Thailand, I would get a basic understanding of like the Buddhism. If you're going to like Vietnam, Cambodia, just watch a video on like the top 10 things to know about these countries. I think culture shock is more of just how crazy those countries are. So it's good to understand them, and also understanding like the finances of these countries, like when you're buying something. So you're not being haggled, you can actually be doing the haggling, or at least catch when you're being robbed or taken advantage of, right? Take a little bit. You don't need to sit there and read the Quran. You don't need to read the Book of Buddha or anything like that, but just get the basics of the country, and you should be okay. Number 6, best country to teach English in Southeast Asia in 2023. I would say if you have a degree, Vietnam is the best country to teach because it has the highest pay. They'll hire you even if you don't have skills. As long as you have your degree and your TEFL, they will hire you. And they usually train you. You typically will have like a TA with you that will give you feedback. Places like Thailand, you typically don't get that. Plus, Thailand pays really low. If you don't have a degree, the best country is going to be Cambodia. It's pretty much the same idea as Vietnam. It's just a little calmer. The pay is a little less. You're looking at like 1,000 to 1,200, where Vietnam's like 1,200 to 1,500, give or take. And this is both for like native and non-native. Like these are both really good countries. If you want like the best of the best, I think South Korea and Japan are two of the better ones for the higher pay, the better resume building experience. These are more commitment-based jobs, meaning you're going to be working 9 to 5, long hours. You're going to have student time. You're going to have weekend events. In short, if you have a degree, you don't really know what you're doing, or if you do and you just want the best pay, Vietnam. If you don't have a degree, to Cambodia. Thailand, I would avoid it unless you have a master's degree. Because the international schools pay a lot of money. Places like Malaysia, I would avoid it. Places like Singapore, I don't think that the opportunity is not that great there unless you have a master's degree. Or if you have like an engineering degree, you can get like a normal engineering job. Laos not bad, but it's hard to find work and the pay is extremely low and there's not a lot to do there at all. So yeah, so Vietnam, Cambodia, or Thailand, your 3 big ones. What is the average salary of these jobs? Vietnam is between 1,200 to 1,500, and this is for native speakers. Cambodia is between 1,000 to 1,200. Laos is 800 to 1,200. Laos really varies. Malaysia is between 13 to 1,600, but there's a lot of regulations to get to that. Anytime you teach in Malaysia, and I've never really talked about this much, I got to teach for a month out here. Malaysia, you have to adapt a lot, and it can make you feel uncomfortable. And again, this kind of goes back to the second or third question we talked about like understand the culture of the country before you visit it. Malaysia is definitely a different version of Asia, and it's not what people expect. Like when we think about what is Asia, we usually think about Southeast Asia, Japan, China, Taiwan, Korea. Malaysia typically doesn't come up in the list. India typically doesn't come up in the list. As what Asia's about. You know, I mean, it is Asia, don't get me wrong, I'm not downing anything of the culture of the people. It's just not what mainstream media pushes in the West. So do be ready for that. But the pay, Vietnam overall, I think is some of the best. If you have a master's degree, Thailand for sure. So number 8, how do I get ready for teaching English abroad? Get your TEFL. Check the link below. It'll take you through the basics of how to get a TEFL. You need a 120-hour TEFL that's certified. You can do them online. It's not 120 hours. Number 2, you need to have activities. This is one of the most important things about Asia, and people will downplay this so much. If you do not have activities and games for your lessons, you will fail as a teacher. Like, the school is going to get rid of you. You need to have these activities to actually do well in these schools. If you walk into a Vietnamese, Thai, Cambodian, Lao, Malaysian classroom and try to teach like it's America or the UK or Canada, you will be released, or they will just complain a lot about you. And the last one is lesson plans. You're gonna be writing a lot of lesson plans. Again, I wrote a book on how to automate and write lesson plans extremely fast. The schools love them. If you're doing the TEFL, they're gonna want you to write a lesson plan to graduate. So it's an awesome way to go. Check those books out. Get the teacher's package that I have down there. That will literally get you 80% ready to be a teacher. It will also put you ahead of like 90% of teachers out here. And the last piece of advice, go to YouTube. Look up videos of people recording their experiences teaching English classes. Don't get the talking head feedback, but actually seeing them teach the classes. TEFL will not get you ready for Southeast Asian classes, but it will get you that certification. So either way, get the TEFL, get the activity books, get the lesson plan, and you will be 80% ready to start teaching. I see teachers out here, like seriously, in 2023, that come out here, they have no activities, they don't know how to write lesson plans, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They just have a bachelor's degree and a TEFL, and a lot of them get fired. I was just in Thailand working I did a 2-month thing out there, and they fired like 14 teachers because they just weren't good. They didn't know activities, they didn't know how to do games, they wrote horrible lesson plans. Things I'm trying to prevent you from running into. So check those books out, definitely. You do not want to fly across the world and look like an idiot and have to fly back. So the next one is, what apps do I use as I travel abroad? And looking at my phone, I use ChatGTP, download that. It's hard to download in Asia because it's illegal. Lazada, Grab, Bookaway, Booking.com, Monado, Airbnb, Currency Pro, and I use a VPN, Advanced One. You need to have a VPN because there's a lot of stuff you can't do, like places like Malaysia. Actually, they block a lot of websites. Vietnam does too. Like, you can't even look at the BBC in most of Southeast Asia. And I'm not saying you need to read the news, but it kind of gives you an idea. Like, they politically block stuff here and there too. So have those. That's really all I have. Everything else are just like my baking stuff. I got chess.com on here. I have Twitter on here. That's it. So yeah, those are the basics, man. Number 9, what is the best country that offers the best retirement options? I would say all of them do if you get married, with the exception of Vietnam, where Vietnam just gives you a residency card, doesn't guarantee you the stay. During the pandemic, actually, a lot of people that were married in like Vung Tau and Phan Thiet, that were like Australia, UK, and America, they got their denied renewal during the pandemic. Like, they removed them. So you can't legally retire in Vietnam as much as people want to. I don't know why people want to, because Thailand is beautiful and it's way cheaper if you just avoid the big city. But past the digressing, Thailand offers a retirement visa. I suggest avoiding it. You have to have 400,000 baht in your bank account at all times, or when you sign the paper, because you got to renew it every year. My advice to Thailand is get the elite visa. It's between 8,000 to 43,000. It'll get you a 5 to 20 year visa that doesn't require a job to stay, doesn't require marriage to stay. Other places, or Malaysia has a nomad visa where you can stay 5 to 10 years at a time, as long as you're making digital income or you got a retirement check coming in, you're retired military. Singapore offers. Taiwan, if you live there for 5 years and work as a teacher, you'll get an ARC card, and that will allow you to live there forever. You can get a passport. You could vote for the next president of Taiwan. So they're serious about it. Japan is also offering a citizenship path now for Western people. Cambodia and Laos, if you get married, you become a citizen there. It's not like Vietnam where they can just be like, you know what, get the hell out of here. And it's not like Thailand where the wife could actually be like, I want you to leave, and she doesn't sign your visa, and then she takes everything from you and you have to leave. You do need to be careful with that. If I was to retire tomorrow, I would say get the 20-year, because you should have money if you're retired, right? You shouldn't be broke. Get the 20-year elite visa through Thailand. Start the process and get that. And then come to Thailand, buy a house, build it up, whatever it is, and call it a day. And you'd be good to go. All the other countries, there's too many loopholes, there's too much complications. Places like Vietnam, it never works. And I'll tell you a fun fact, Vietnam, most people after 7 years leave anyways. Like, it's just too stressful, it's too polluted, it's too loud, there's too much chaos. People retire because they want to chill. Vietnam's not the spot. And I don't mean the bag on it. I keep getting so many comments about, I'm gonna retire Vietnam. And, you know, I respect it, man. But I'm telling you, after 7 years, most people leave. Quite crazy. And a lot of them actually go to Thailand. And it's not for the lady boys. It's because it's way calmer. And the last one is, how do you deal with health complications in your healthcare while you're traveling abroad? If you are retired, your country's probably gonna have some kind of international plan that you get onto. I actually have a follower, Jack. Hopefully he leaves a comment below this video. Look at his channel. He has a video where he talked about like $45 every 6 months, gives you health insurance that covers international base. You're American and you're a retired veteran, there's options through the VA that'll allow you. But in my personal experience, I've just kind of paid cash. Like, I had to get a root canal redone, and that cost me like 200 bucks. I had to get a nasal pulp thing removed, which typically costs $5,000 to $7,000 in the West. I got it done for like $400 here. And any types of surgery, plastic surgery or like cosmetic surgery, you get done in Thailand, like stupid cheap. Your insurance plan should just be like, if you have the means, like $100,000 and you're set for life. Because $100,000 would cover like a serious triple bypass heart attack. Eat healthy, live healthy, and you won't even have to worry about those situations in general, right? Hopefully that answers the questions. These were the top 9, 10, or 11 questions. I lost count, sorry. If you guys have any other questions, leave them below, send me an email, the link's in the description, and I answer them as much as I can for you. But when I see things that I feel like these are really good questions, and I think a lot of people have been asking them, I'm gonna put them out on a video for you guys. But that's kind of it for today, guys. We're at the beach. It's actually starting to rain again, so I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna grab some food, get some work done, read a book, yada yada. Thanks for watching, guys. Till then, I will see you again.